Hello, and welcome to another 3ABN Today program. We're the Micheff sisters.
I'm Linda.
And I'm Brenda.
And I'm Cinda. Today we have such a special program for you. You are not going to want to miss this. This program today is going to honor mothers all over the world.
That's right.
And we have some wonderful recipes too for you.
That's right.
Let's show you what we're going to be preparing today. We're going to start off with some buckwheat pancakes.
Now, is there some buckwheat in there, sis?
Absolutely.
We also have some banana nut pancakes
Ooh,
for a little bit of variety.
Those look good. And I like those pecans on there. That's good. And also sweet potato waffles. Now, you might have had sweet potatoes other ways, but believe me, don't turn your nose up yet. The sweet potato waffles are delicious.
Oh, they're amazing. I love them.
And we have some berry sauce to go with your pancakes.
Actually, they would go with all of those recipes.
Exactly.
And then we're going to spice stuff up just a touch. We're going to do a picante tofu scramble.
Well, sis, it wouldn't be spicy without, without.
That's right. I got to spice it up a little bit.
And then the potato latkes. And boy, this reminds me of Grandma Micheff, doesn't
Oh.
it? Very close to potato latkes. And I love potatoes anyway, as I know it's your favorite thing.
That's right.
You know, and thinking about Grandma Micheff, I can remember when we would go to her house, she called them potato pancakes.
Right.
And we would go.
I tried to get a little fancy, you know.
And we would go to Grandma's house, and it was so neat because we'd all get in the car. We loved her potato pancakes, and Cinda wouldn't be there. We'd be waiting, and Mom would say, Cinda, and she would be back in there wrapping up another potato pancake and sticking it in her pocket.
We'd be halfway down the road. Here's Cinda whipping out her potato pancakes.
We're like, what did we think of that?
That's true. Mom said that if I fell asleep on the way home, she always had to check my clothes before the pockets before she washed my clothes because there was always something in them.
Grandma's cookies, too. You like that?
Yeah. There's also something else special about today's program.
That's right, and we are so excited because today we have the privilege of taping on the brand new set, as you can see here in our 3ABN kitchen, and it's still a work in progress, so be patient with us. You're going to still see a few more changes taking place, but we didn't want to stop from bringing your cooking programs.
That's right.
So we're going to go ahead and you're going to get to enjoy every program you watch. You just see a little bit of change coming, and you're going to love it. So we're really excited to be here today. So this is awesome. But our main focus today that I'm excited about is our mother.
I know.
And our mothers all around the world. But, we really, it wouldn't be a cooking program about mothers without us talking about our own mother, right?
That's right.
That's right. That's a good way to start, too.
And there she is. I tell you, she has been such a precious mother. I feel like, the luckiest girls in the world. I'm sure you do, too.
Oh, we're so blessed because Mom took the time to cook with not just us girls, but with our brothers, too.
That's right.
And she taught me, and I know she taught each one of my sisters, that's what we've done with our own children. We have tried to be patient, and you have to be patient because, it takes more time to prepare a meal when you have your kids right there with you. It's always more of a mess. But let me tell you, it is so worth it if you will just take the time and teach your children how to cook. And how you do that is by letting them help you in the kitchen.
That's right.
And
if you don't have patience, pray for patience. God will give it to you. He will. And that's the really wonderful thing about God. He supplies our every need, even that. So,
He does.
There's so many precious, warm memories I have of Mom, not just in the kitchen, but, we think of that all the time because we've learned so much from our mom in the kitchen. But I have so many warm memories of Mom, of just the tenderness that she, showed her children. I never once can tell you that I didn't feel loved in my life. I always knew I was loved. And since we've been taping these programs, we've received letters from people from all over the world and telling us that they didn't have mothers, that loved them. They like to hear about us talk about our mom because they hear about all that love. And one lady wrote to us, I was telling my sisters this morning about the woman that said that, she said, I didn't grow up with that kind of love. She said, my mom beat me every day of my life. She said, I grew up in a terrible, home. And she said, I'm afraid to be a mother because because I don't know how
she was treated.
That's how she was treated. And she goes, I don't dare be a mother because I don't know if I could be a mother. And share what you said, Linda, I thought was really good.
It's so neat because, you know, sometimes when I feel like I don't know what to do, or things are coming in my life that, you know, aren't right, or people treat me some way, I go to the Psalms because, you know, David just seems to know, you know, who to turn to, and that's the Lord.
That's
and
right.
It says in Psalms 27, verse 10, it says, when your father and your mother forsake you, then the Lord will take you up. And isn't that beautiful? So if you're listening today and you're saying, mothers, you know, I don't even, you know, didn't have a relationship with my mother. Jesus wants to have a relationship with you. And he is our Father, our Mother, our King, our Savior, our everything. And so when you hear us talk about mothers, just think about how much Jesus loves you.
That's right. And with Christ reflected in our characters,
That's right.
you're going to be an awesome mother.
That's right.
You know, that's
right.
all you have. Even if you didn't have that role model, you have Jesus.
Well, you know, sisters, I remember Mom telling us that when she had us, she had not a clue how to treat children or how to cook or anything else, because Mom never remembers her mother saying, I love you.
That's
right. She came from a very dysfunctional family. She suffered a lot of emotional abuse and different things, and so she never knew. She just never knew that God really loved her, or she never knew that. Of course, she didn't know that her mom loved her, or her father loved her. And so she said, you know, when she got married, she said, I want my home to be different. And so since she didn't know how to make it different, she started praying every single morning, every single night, throughout the day. She would say, Lord, how do I raise this child? Or how do I do this? Or what do I do this? And God became her constant companion. And so because of that, we were able to experience a loving home that our own mother had no idea what it was. But you see, Jesus taught her.
That's
so you
right,
see
right.
how awesome that is when you have the Lord.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about what you know or what you don't know. God will teach you. And I love it, sisters. And John 14:26, because God gives us the gift of his Holy Spirit when we don't know what to do.
That's
and
right.
it says, but the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all things that I said to you. And I love the very, very next verse, because it says, peace I leave with you, peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
You know, I'm so good. We wanted to share this with you about our mom for this reason, because there are people out there that just feel like giving up, or you know, that there's no hope. And we want you to know our mom didn't have it easy, and yet she raised 5 children. We have 2 brothers, you know, so 5 children. All 5 of her children are in full-time ministry for Jesus today. And so there's no such thing as I can't when you're holding God's hand.
And also, Mom admits that she made mistakes with us.
Oh.
You know, when she'd raise her voice or get upset, she'd have to come to her bed at night and say, I'm sorry that I did that. So she wasn't that, she'll tell you, I was not a perfect mom, but I had a perfect example.
Exactly.
And I kept going to Jesus. You know, so if you're messing up, don't worry about it. I've messed up so much with my son, and I've had to go back and say, Jesus, please help me. I'm sorry. And I've had to say sorry to my own child.
I have
But
too.
you know, Mom also knew the power of a hug.
That's
and
right.
she would hug us, and so did Daddy. But you know, we're talking about Mom today, so Mom would she knew how to hug us, and the power of touch is amazing.
Yes.
That's right.
And you know what? Something that I know.
You're supposed to have a minimum of 3 hugs a day, I heard. See.
Oh, well, don't tell my husband that, because I tell him that it's more than that. So.
I thought it was 11.
You know, something I do, I know I have parents that they'll say, I don't want my kids in the kitchen because they make a mess. And you know what I tell them? Keep a camera in the kitchen. Because I said, that'll take your focus off the mess and off yelling at your children. I said, capture the moment. I said, when David, my son, who's now just turned 24, David was small. He was going to help go in and cook something for me. And he went in the kitchen. He took the flour, the brown sugar, the oats, just everything, and he dumped it in the middle of the kitchen floor. And he was sitting in the kitchen floor just going like this, "I cooking, Mommy, I cooking," and then throw it up. And I came in, there was flour everywhere. I had to dust the whole house, believe it or not. And do you know what I did? I went and got a camera and I took pictures and I have proof of it. and we laughed together, and we still laugh to look at those pictures.
And not only that, David is an amazing cook. He is an amazing
he is a
cook,
very good cook. He he just makes bread. He just does all kinds of things. So,
well, speaking of cooking, you are going to start. We're having a brunch for our mothers today.
We're going to do a brunch for you, just to give you ideas. And you can take these ideas. You can add your own little personal touches to this, and you can make your own brunch for your own mother, and make it special. But we're going to start with buckwheat pancakes. And let me read the recipe for you. You will need 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/2 cup of buckwheat flour, 2 teaspoons of aluminum-free baking powder, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of flaxseed, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and 1 1/4 cups of soy milk.
Wow, that doesn't sound like very hard to do, does it?
Nope. We're going to add our flour in first. Linda, I'm giving you dish detail.
Oh, thank you.
The two flours, the buckwheat flour and the whole wheat flour.
You need a wire whisk?
That'd be nice, actually.
Okay, I can get you one.
But I tell you what. Note to self: always have two sisters here when you're cooking. And add the flaxseed. This really adds some good nutrition.
Flaxseed's so good for you.
Salt.
Lots of good fiber.
The baking powder, aluminum free.
Doesn't have a strong taste or odor, a strong taste.
No, but it'll add nutrition, and no one will even know it's in there.
Sometimes, some of the healthy stuff I have to, swallow hard to be able to get down.
You won't have to swallow hard to get these down.
Well, I'm glad.
Just trust me.
I'm sure glad about that.
Hey, I trust you both, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna make her try everything first. She's braver than me.
She does that. That's because I'll eat just about anything.
And I won't.
As long as it doesn't have a face, because I've never had meat in my life, which people just can't understand. I'm mixing the liquids together just in case you think I'm doing something secret over here and you're not going to know what I'm doing. I mix this together first. And then make a well in the middle and pour it right in the middle. Hand everything right to your sister because that's how you do it. And then
now, does this have to set a while, or can you, once you mix it up,
no.
Go ahead and
once you mix it up, go ahead and start making it, because the aluminum-free baking powder in there will start to make them rise. So I don't let them sit. I start making it. Although, sis, I would like that spoon back. I'll trade. How about if I trade you?
All right.
See, it's going to be a nice thick. Now, if it's too thick for you, can you spray a little bit of that on, please?
I can.
If it's too thick for you, then just add a little bit more soy milk. Now, you can add the vanilla-flavored soy milk if you want to. And I like to just spread them out a little bit like this. And it just makes a really nice, hearty pancake. And I've already made some up for you. You want to wait, and how you know to turn them, I'm trying to get that evened out, but how you know to turn them is you'll see this, the top of the pancake just starts to bubble a little bit, and then you can go ahead and turn them. See, it's already starting to bubble a little bit, and I'll just turn them.
You know, one thing I like about those pancakes is that when you eat, you can eat one pancake, you know, and you know, whatever you want to put on it, your peanut butter berry sauce or pure maple syrup, and you're really not hungry, you know, for the morning. You aren't like, oh, I wish I had something to eat. It's filling. It's very filling.
Very filling.
Exactly.
Stays with you a little bit.
Yeah, it stays with you.
And I'm going to show you some that we've already made for you ahead of time.
And
I actually made more than what you're going to see on the sample plate.
Top, sis.
But Linda ate them all back there.
Now we must tell the truth.
She was only teasing, folks. Well, Linda, you have some pancakes for us, too.
Yes, we have a different kind of pancake for you to try, and this is a banana nut pancake. So we'll put the recipe up, and I'm going to ask my sister Brenda to read it.
All right. You will need 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 1 medium banana, 1/4 cup of pecan pieces, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1½ teaspoons of Rumford baking powder, 1 tablespoon of canola oil, 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup, 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and approximately 1 cup of soy milk. And is that any brand, any soy milk of your choice? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm excited. Now, you've got something else here. What am I doing over here?
Well, first of all, we're going to make the sauce for the pancakes, and that's really easy. I chose pineapple juice and orange juice, and that's all it is, and you just thicken it. And so Brenda's going to do this over here. And if you have a favorite juice that you like, just thicken your juice.
So you don't really need a recipe for this. It's any juice you want. Make a slurry, you know, thicken it up.
That's right.
You're ready to go. Okay.
There we go. And then Brenda will make her slurry, and when the juice is hot, then she'll slowly stir that slurry in that she's mixing with the cornstarch and the water. And she's going to be all ready for that. So meanwhile, we're going to make some pancakes.
You might want to tell them, is that like a cup of liquid and a tablespoon of cornstarch?
It's actually was about 3/4. I usually do about 2 tablespoons to like a cup of the
liquid.
Juice. Yes. And
2 tablespoons of cornstarch to how much liquid?
1 cup is usually what because I like mine just a little bit thicker.
For your slurry.
Oh, slurry, I do.
I'm trying to help you out here.
I do 1 tablespoon, equal amounts. If I do a tablespoon of cornstarch, I do a tablespoon of water, cold, but it needs to be cold.
Since this is already bubbling, should we show them how fast and easy it thickens?
It needs to really be bubbling, but it's not going to hurt it.
That's bubbling pretty good. Look at that.
But I mean, bring it to like as soon as it boils, then you add it in. Well, that's pretty good.
I was going to say, that's not boiling, girl.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to pour this in. You stir really quick so you don't want any lumps.
It thickens fat. Look at that. Instant thick. So you have to make sure you are stirring the whole time.
And see, now that is a little bit thicker, and if you want a thinner sauce, then you just take it off. It's done, and that's all you have to do. And you just add a little bit more.
More juice.
More juice, if you want it.
If I want it thinner.
Okay, we are going to make some banana nut pancakes, and I'm going to ask Cinda to mash our banana over here for us.
Now, I wonder why she asked me to do that.
And we're using a fork because maybe not everybody has a food processor or a blender.
But if you had one, you could use it, right?
You could use it. But I grew up with Mom not having anything.
That's
so
right.
To me, I'm used to the spoons, just the, little whips or the
Improvise.
fork.
Improvise.
Exactly. Mom had to do that all her life. So
But it really also, I think we've traveled so around the world now, and giving cooking demonstrations in different countries. And it's really made us more aware of how, so many people that we're thinking of all the things we have here, but there's so many people around the world that are watching these programs that don't have anything, like you say, they don't have any of those fancy gadgets. So we also want to be, conscious of sharing with you too, our viewers around the world that don't have some of the fancy electric things,
But, also, they also don't have all the ingredients that we have, and that's one thing I like about our new cookbook.
That's
because we have tried to use ingredients that are a little more common, and so you won't have as difficulty finding them.
That's right.
Right. And so if you don't like bananas, you can leave them out. It'll be just fine. But we're going to start.
But you better put them in if I've mashed them all this time. I'm telling you right now, because I'm not doing all this work for nothing.
Okay, we don't want to make her work for nothing. But here is some whole wheat flour. And we're going to put our baking powder in.
Okay.
Rumford, it's aluminum free, and that's why I choose to use that brand. And a little bit of a salt. And I'm going to mix this all around here. And I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon.
You know, since it's a Mother's Day program, it might be nice for us to share something about our own children. You know, Linda, you know, maybe with the viewers would like to know how many children you have.
Well, I
all
have
12 of them. Can you remember all their names?
Actually, I always wanted a lot of children, just a lot. But you know what? God chose to give me one son. And he is so kind. He now has a beautiful wife and 2 children, and he's such a good daddy. You know, I'm so proud of him. But to fill my need, where God says in Psalms 37, where he will give us the desire of our hearts, he gave me all the children of the world. He let me be Auntie Linda. And so I am just so thankful, you know, because I always wanted so many kids, and God just said, I'm going to give you one son, but then I'm going to give you more than you can imagine, you know? So
Isn't God awesome?
I just want to thank God for that, and I thank him for all of you and all you children, because you're all very special to me.
That's true. That is good.
It's so neat to see when we travel, too, because the little children will run up to Linda and they'll go, Auntie Linda, Auntie Linda, and they're just so excited, and she just loves having those little children come.
Well, it's just my answer to what God did for me.
In fact,
That's
I have
really...
to share, I was speaking in Bakersfield, California recently, and there was a mother that brought me a picture, a photograph of her child, her 2-year-old child, sitting in front of the TV, watching Tiny Tots and glued to the set, just watching Tiny Tots, just could not stop. And she took a picture of him watching Tiny Tots, and I brought that back to show you guys. To give to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, here's some pecans that we're mixing in here.
Boy, Brenda, you ought to like these. That's your favorite nut.
I know, I love pecans. You just...
Yep. And so
I don't
now,
think I've met a pecan I don't like.
You haven't. I'm going to put not all the soy milk in, because, you know, this says approximately, so we're going to do just about that much. Then I'm putting in the pure maple syrup, right there, and then the vanilla. And we're going to put some canola oil in.
Okay.
And it's heart healthy here. And we're going to put the bananas.
Don't forget the bananas.
Don't you forget the banana. Because I've been working hard over here.
And I want to tell you, you did a very good job mashing
Hey, and Mama's watching today. There's a little piece right there you just missed. Right there, see?
All right.
No.
There you go.
Hey, I
How's
am
that?
going to add some more of the soy milk, and I'm going to use it all. So I use the whole
well,
cup.
there you go.
Okay, is that ready for me?
I think it's about ready.
Okay, I'm going to do something that,
Can you make some little ones?
no, I'm going to, you'll see what I'm going to do. I didn't tell you guys.
Oh.
Is it ready to go? Can you spray just a little
Yes,
canola
I
oil?
can.
And I'll try to do it backwards so that you can all see it. But I'm going to do something I made for my son that he just loved.
Oh.
And I might have to do both sides, I don't know, to get it, but there we go. All right, I'm going to put a smiley face, because I used to make this to make him so that he would like it. That's supposed to be like his little face, not a mustache I have here. Okay, and I put some nuts in there. Let's see, sis, can you give me a couple little...
Here, I'll give you a couple nuts off of here.
All right.
That'll work.
There you go.
That's
All right.
quick thinking on your feet, sis.
Hey, you know.
We're going to put some eyes there, and I'll take a little bit for the nose. Okay, flip them over, sis.
Oh, no, I get the stress of flipping. I don't know. But here you go.
Okay, and then we'll turn him over after he's done, and I'll have a nice little one for... My son just loved it. Sometimes I made him like bunny pancakes and, you know...
I did that too.
Yeah.
And if it was...
Cats, I do whiskers on them.
Right, and sometimes he'd want a snowman, even if it was in summertime, you know?
Now I always test my pancakes like this to see if it rises back. Do you do
and
that
you can
too?
turn it over just to see if...
All right.
Okay,
There we go.
there's the little face, and he'd just get so excited eating his little face, and he'd say, "Oh, Mommy, can you put some peanut butter around his eyes?" And you know, kids love stuff
Just
like
have
that.
fun.
It's just simple. But I'll show you. Here's some that we have for you adults over here, and it has some pineapple sauce to put. Pineapple sauce to go with it.
And with some banana garnishes that look so delicious. And but you know the next recipe that we have is my sweet potato waffles. Let me read the recipe for you.
That sounds good.
You will need 1 1/4 cup of whole wheat pastry flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, and 1/2 cup of pecan pieces. You will also need 1 cup of sweet potatoes cooked and mashed, 1/4 cup of canola oil, 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 cups of soy milk. Maybe a little more if you need to. And that's all you need. And I got to tell you, I love sweet potatoes anyway. I like sweet potato,
Me too.
soups, and I love baked sweet potatoes. And
Well, if it's a potato, I love it. It
That's
can
true.
be a sweet potato, it can be a baked potato, it can be a purple potato, it can be a finger potato. I mean, those cute little fingerling potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah, if
Are
it's
the
a
little
potato,
red potatoes?
I want it.
Yep, I love it too. But before I start this recipe, I just want to say a special thank you to our very, very dear friend, Lucy Newharth, who is responsible. Take a look, guys, at our aprons. These are from Lucy Newharth is responsible for these, and I don't look